But what you end up happening is a population of people are in this room and in many rooms like them all over the country who think they won in 2020, think they're winning again here in 2024, and think the only way they can lose is if there is cheating. And so you can understand why in this really remarkable CBS poll out today, 7 in 10 Americans are concerned about violence tied to the election in the days ahead. In the land of Democrats, that tends to be Republicans, they imagine, protesting, demonstrating, rioting because their candidate has been somehow quote-unquote cheated. But when you talk to people here, they say, yeah, we are also concerned about violence by Democrats. And their imagination, what's going to happen tonight and in the days ahead is potentially riots in blue cities. Nora.
And all you have to do is look at our nation's capital, which is boarded up and fenced up in anticipation of some of the concern about what is ahead. Tony DeCopel, thank you. When we come back, we'll check in with our correspondents in the blue wall battleground states.
Ahead in Arizona.
You're watching CBS News America Decides Election 2024.
Almost 50%. Georgia, Trump is ahead. Don't tell me Trump's going to come back and win Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Please don't. So tonight is the night. Today is election day, which is huge. This is the rate where everything gets decided, including the presidents. Like, I voted for president. I voted for Kamala Harris. I pretty much voted for all Democratic, and I voted yes on every proposal. So let's see where we are right now. Okay, so right now Kamala has won in Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, New York, Illinois, and recently Colorado. And while Trump has won in Montana, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, it says Nebraska, but it's not over. But it's not over yet. I mean, the one I'm looking at is not as accurate, so I'm just looking at TV. That Oklahoma, Texas, and pretty much most of the South, which is not a surprise. But the key battleground states we're waiting on is Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Like, for both Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, Harris had the lead, but Trump is coming back, which is not good. I mean, like, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia are very important. From what I was told, if Harris loses North Carolina and Georgia, then she has to win Pennsylvania. But if she doesn't, it's likely over. But okay, so the official results is 195 Trump, 91 Harris.
Welcome back to CBS News coverage of Election Night 2024. Just in from the CBS News data desk, CBS News projects Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio, the home of his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance.
Ohio.
And in the state of Mississippi, CBS News projects Donald Trump wins there as well in Mississippi. Also, CBS News projects Kamala Harris will pick up Colorado's 10
she got Colorado
electoral votes.
Thank God.
And in the hunt for 270 electoral votes, Donald Trump has 195. Kamala Harris has 91.
Okay, this is
the former president
right now.
racking up a number of big electoral wins with Texas and Florida early in the night. But
South,
as you can see, a number of states have still not been called, and in those key 7 battleground states, we have rated each of those as toss-up at this hour. But we will dive into the details to get a sense of where those states could break.
Nora, good evening to you. The polls are closed here, but the count is going to take longer than expected, and that is because of what happened in this room a couple of hours ago. And that is when authorities here started a recount of some 31,000 absentee ballots after it was discovered that the 18 tabulation machines in this room didn't have the doors completely sealed. They say the machines were not compromised.
Wisconsin.
Ballots were not compromised. This is for transparency's sake. and out of abundance of caution. But what was going to be a count going until 1 or 2 in the morning, authorities now say will be several hours longer than that. Nora?
Wisconsin.
That's important information. Janet Shanlian, thank you for bringing that to us. National
They said
correspondent
that
Jerika
Georgia is going to
Duncan
be
is in
delayed
Detroit,
because
Michigan.
of the machines.
And Jerika, what are you hearing about
Nevada is going
turnout
to be delayed
in Detroit
because
and
of
other
the
parts of the state?
signatures, and now Wisconsin.
Yeah, in Detroit, we're hearing from the Wayne County executive that they're expecting turnout to be slightly below what it was in 2020. Now, there were projections that it could be about 53% of registered voters, but last check, about 50% or so.
Seriously, why?
But the big story to me that looking at some of the data from Michigan is that the more people that turn out to vote, the more likely it is that a Democrat is to take this state. But still, a lot of votes have not been tabulated just yet. The UAW president took the stage not too long ago, encouraging people, trying to create that celebratory mood, telling me earlier today that they feel confident in the strides that they've made.
Seriously, why does it have to be the battleground states that's delayed?
In the last couple of weeks of this campaign. Nora?
Jerika Duncan, thank you so much for that information. Senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for us tonight.
50%, it's
Weijia,
close in
we're
Arizona.
so interested in what's happening there
nice
in Philadelphia and in the greater
Arizona.
state of Pennsylvania. I just spoke with a source close to the Trump campaign that says the Trump campaign believes
Georgia
that they have
overperformed
in these rural counties.
Michigan. 20%.
And Nora, so much has been made about very significant because that will tell the story about whether the base for Kamala Harris turned out like they really worked for them to do. And I just want to mention, Nora, a really interesting storyline that you guys have been talking about here in Philadelphia. We know that the 3 wards with the most Puerto Ricans have been voting for, have been turning out in record numbers. And so they are very...
What the? That was a weird way to stop.
Okay, so let's just start at the beginning.
Well, let me start with this.
Oh, really? They got a commercial in the middle of a broadcast?
You want me to just keep going?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Now, you're probably asking 2 questions. Like, no, I got a TV, and surprise you. I mean, like, you remember that I recorded a video reacting to the 2020 election, and I was watching for the TV. You're probably wondering why I'm recording through the computer screen this time around. The answer is because I tried to watch it on this TV, but for some reason the signal was messed up and the screen is glitchy, so I couldn't watch for the TV. So this is why I'm watching it in an internet. Thank God for streaming. Otherwise, I would not know what's going on. And you probably wonder what I'm doing while watching this. Well, this is actually my homework for tomorrow. And like this thing is for a science project, the circle of life. So me and the other school A's got this, and we have to pretty much doing is we're cutting them out into little squares, as you can see here. And once we do that, we put them together, and then paperclip it, and then we got that, and keep going until we're all done. Like I started earlier today, like I got 4 piles. I'm almost done with the 3rd one, so I have 1 more pile left to go to. Once that's done, I'll bring it back to work and have this handed to the science teacher for the project. It's a shame I have to do this when I'm supposedly off from work, but gotta do what we gotta do. At least I'm home. That's all that matters. I'm home watching the election.
Speaking to tonight say they're combing through some of these threats. They're determining patterns, similarities, but it might take days or even weeks to really attribute and pinpoint exactly where these threats
Trump just got ahead in Arizona.
But again, the big good headline here, Lindsay,
But it's really
no
close.
material effect on the outcome of
it's got to be decided by the
And Nicole,
final
quickly,
vote.
the FBI is warning about some misinformation videos using their logo.
That's exactly right. The FBI putting out a warning about 3 videos that claim to use the FBI insignia, name, and likeness to spread false claims about alleged voter fraud, violence at polling stations. And by the way, Lindsay, according to CBS News exit polls, 70% of voters are concerned with violence after Election Day.
Yes,
and we should just note, speaking with law enforcement officials today, they say so far
Trump
the coast is
loses
pretty
again.
clear, but they're looking ahead to next week.
I pray to God that we do not have another January
6th. And that's a command post that's operating through
55%. Come on,
okay,
Kamala,
thank you so much.
Stay.
Oh, come on. You need to come back, Kamala, in Wisconsin.
Get
we just had a commercial.
Face the Nation.
At the Peach State of Georgia, at this hour, you can see 86% of the vote in, but we're going to dive into the numbers about what's still left to count. Let's take a look too now at North Carolina. As you can see, about 80% of the vote in the Tar Heel state. Donald Trump currently with a lead, but we still rate this as a toss-up, as some of the major cities have not yet reported. And then take a look at Pennsylvania. This is the big electoral prize of the night with its 19 electoral votes. And Republican sources I'm talking with there say that Donald Trump has performed well in the rural counties, but just 57% of the vote in. And if you were with us 4 years ago on this journey, you'll remember that it took a few days to get the full count in from Pennsylvania. They do not pre-process their ballots like most other states do. So it takes them a little bit longer. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it.
It can make up some ground.
Now Philadelphia
you see around Philadelphia and the collar counties and Pittsburgh and Allegheny. I will show you some numbers now, Nora, that illustrate
if she wins Philadelphia,
so, Bucks
she'll
County,
likely
more
win
than 200,000
Pennsylvania,
votes still outstanding. Montgomery County, 342. We look at it this way. To prevail 52. In Pennsylvania, claim those vital 19 electoral votes, Kamala Harris, Vice President, needs 52% of the outstanding vote. What is our current estimate based on the data?
Seriously, the fact that the race is
54%. So she is in position currently to achieve victory in Pennsylvania based on the data set as we know
right to abortion.
And as it overlays
Montana
exit poll data
yes.
and historical trends. That's where we are in Pennsylvania right now.
Because you were saying there is
Montana
still a huge
yes
outstanding vote, not only in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but what we call these collar counties.
Precisely, the suburbs around Philadelphia. And let's look as she...
These are high population centers, and of course we know Trump does very well in the rural areas.
So let's walk, running right about where he was in 2020. Beaver County, also a nice place, doing well there. Westmoreland County, even a long stage of the evening in Pennsylvania.
We have a projection, but then I want to go inside the numbers in the other blue wall states of Michigan and Wisconsin. But first, CBS News projects that Iowa is for Trump, that the former president has won the state of Iowa. You see just a little bit more than half the vote in there. There had been that poll by the Des Moines Register suggesting that she was doing much better than expected, but Iowa, a reliably Republican state there, and those 6 electoral votes now in the Republican column. John Dickerson wanted to check in with you. What are the exit polls showing us?
This is not good.
Various different splits with the electorate. We've also talked about how there are shifts going on. Donald Trump is getting more of the African-American vote than you might have expected or you would have expected a Republican to get in the past. We've talked about Latino voters. Another key way to think about the electorate is between college and non-college voters. Particularly, let's look at white college voters, that's say voters with a college degree. So let's look at white voters with a college degree. Kamala Harris, 54 to 44. So that's a 10-point margin. The reason this is important is this is a key part of the new emerging Democratic base doing well with college-educated voters. That's 7 points better than Joe Biden did in 2020. He won that group, white college voters with a degree by only 3 points. Now let's look at the other group, which is the one that Donald Trump does well in, and that's white voters without a college degree. Now you see he is
not even a surprise.
Kamala Harris, 65 to 33.
I feel like a lot of those Trump supporters
without a college
don't
degree.
have college degrees.
Point,
maybe not even a high school diploma.
That's a little bit less than he did in 2020 when he beat Joe Biden with that same group by 35 points. So we see the shift happening. Kamala Harris overperforming with white college voters. Donald Trump doing essentially as he did in 2024, although a little bit worse. Why, of course, this matters is in the key battleground states. White non-college vote it was for Biden. White non-college, Trump is doing a little bit better in Wisconsin than he did in 2020.
Against abortion and will ban
Harris is doing a little bit better among white college voters.
So, again, Michigan, 23% of the vote in. We have a current lead for the vice president. Where's the outstanding vote? Well, okay. As we mentioned earlier, as Anthony went through this, Wayne County, Washington, that's Ann Arbor, Oakland. Very large concentration of outstanding vote there. What is the overall needs for President Trump to prevail in Michigan?
He better not prevail in Michigan.
What is our current projection? 46%. Again, these are projections based on the vote that's come in so far, our estimation of what the overall turnout will be, and overlaying that with exit poll data. So that's what we can basically say about Michigan at this hour.
Okay, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Let's go there now.
Oh,
we have 52% of the vote in. Where is that vote that we still need
Trump
to
just
see
won
come
another
in?
state.
Where is it concentrated?
What did he win?
Madison. Those are good, strong areas for the vice president. What is the general orientation?
Oh, yes.
Vice President Harris, according to our estimates, needs 50% of the outstanding vote. We saw just a moment ago where it's concentrated. Madison and Milwaukee, the surrounding suburbs. According to our estimates, she's going to get 43% of that outstanding vote. That could be problematic in Wisconsin for some of the reasons that John mentioned on some of the exit poll data in that state, showing a difference of the coalitions.
We sure are, Nora. Thank you so much. Let's first
Did Trump just win Kansas?
Where we stand right now. We are at 201 for Donald Trump, 91 for Kamala Harris. But okay, so let's see what Pennsylvania, how it shakes out when it comes to
excluding the battleground state.
If he were to flip Georgia and get the 16 votes there, electoral votes, and take North Carolina and to hold on to that, and then go to Pennsylvania and take the 19 electoral votes there. We talked about this earlier, but that would bring him straight to 270, lights out. He's the next president.
Yeah, Harris needs to win.
If he cannot hold on to Pennsylvania, he then has to go through the southern strategy, the Sun Belt, if you will. So that would mean flipping Georgia, holding on to North Carolina, taking Arizona, taking Nevada as well. He's still not there. He's at 268. So he would have to take one of the upper Midwest, right? If he doesn't get Pennsylvania, he'd have to take Wisconsin or Michigan, and he gets right there to 278.
So now, we need Kamala to win Pennsylvania, Wisconsin,
so if she were to take
and
Pennsylvania
Michigan.
And hold on to it. Joe Biden won it by 82,000 votes last time. And to hang on to Michigan, this is the blue wall we talked about, and Wisconsin, we don't know where that's going to go.
Yes, we need Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
As it has been for so many elections in the past.
Damn it, Trump won Kansas.
Welcome back to CBS News coverage of Election Night 2024. Let's take a look at some of the other states. We have results to share. Just in from the CBS News data desk, CBS News projects Donald Trump will win the state of Kansas. In Ohio, CBS News projects the former president will win there.
Seriously, why
well.
Ohio?
And so here's where we stand in the race to 270. Donald Trump, 207. Kamala Harris, 91. And we should note, as it is almost 11 o'clock in the East, that of those 7 battleground states that will decide who wins the presidency, they are still a toss-up at this hour. That is how close this contest is tonight.
Like, seriously, the fact that it's close is stupid. Harris should be ahead by a mile.
I want to bring in Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. She was elected Secretary of State and oversaw the Michigan's 2020 and 2022 general elections, both of which drew record-breaking turnout. Secretary Benson, welcome.
That he made lies about the Haitian people in Springfield.
Happy election night. I know Michigan looked like it was on track to break records.
Which caused violence over the streets. and
we're still on track. We're waiting to see
and
what
buildings
we've also
being
done,
closed
but really,
down to stop the
that I'm really proud of
violence.
is more
And you
efficiently
still want to vote
tabulate
for a
the
man
absentee
that caused
ballots
violence
than
to
even
your
we had
city.
anticipated. So we're on track to have all our ballots
Makes-
tabulated in the
makes
next few
no
hours
sense.
statewide, and from there the results will.
And Secretary, I know
So
you
to
said
keep
earlier
the lead
tonight
in
that you
Michigan,
expect the
Kamala.
vote to be tallied.
I anticipate before the morning we'll know the results of the bulk of Michigan races. Of course, again, the closer
Michigan, I thought you
ones
talking
may
about the
take some
whole
more time
election,
to
'cause
assess. There may
the
be
whole
recounts and all
election
the
is going to
like.
be way
But
longer
I'm
because we got
hopeful
3
and we're really
battleground
seeing the
states
tabulation
that are
process go
delayed
smoothly.
because of the
And,
voting.
I'm hopeful we'll have those unofficial results ready to be reported
I
in the
just
next few
hope it
hours.
doesn't last
And
a
Secretary,
week.
Donald Trump tweeted earlier this evening that there was heavy police presence in Philadelphia and Detroit. Is there any truth to that?
No, there isn't, neither in Detroit or in Philadelphia. To the extent that there is a law enforcement present anywhere in our city, it's to really ensure our election officials are protected. But people have been respectful.
Yes.
People have been observing the process, but not disrupting the process.
Thank
It's really
God.
been a sea change from 2020, and I'm grateful to see.
But we got
such a
people from
peaceful,
Oregon
secure
that burned
process here in
3
Detroit and
voting
across Michigan.
ballots.
And Secretary Margaret Brennan is here as well. Margaret.
Good to talk to you again, Madam Secretary. There were a number of incidents today with bomb threats in your state. What can you tell us about what
Bomb
the impact
threats.
was, practically
Stupid.
speaking, on just
All because
administering
people
this
have the
election?
right to vote.
Thanks, and thanks for having me.
Arizona's really close.
Absolutely, and we want to head back.
2/3 of Latinos who were surveyed said that they believe that Donald Trump was not referring to people like them when he spoke about immigrants, and half of foreign-born Latinos said the same thing.
Really?
Broadly speaking, Latinos are still overwhelmingly Democrat, but Donald Trump has very successfully started to get into this population. Many Latinos seem to be finding a sense of belonging in Trump's otherism because he is talking to them the same way he talks to white voters. They hear him on the economy. That's their message.
He's manipulating
When we
them.
return, poll closings
He's
in
feeding
4
them
western
lies
states,
to
including
make
California,
them
and its
think that he
54 electoral
appreciates them.
votes.
But
CBS News
once he
America
gets
decides
power,
election
he's going to throw it
2024.
all
We'll be
away
right back.
and start deporting all immigrants. Okay, so I got stack 3 done right here. Now I have 1 more left to go.
About 2 weeks to finalize this year. The
2
state's most
weeks?
populous county, Maricopa, has
Well,
one of the
sure.
largest voting constituencies.
In theory, should be a very close race.
How about the Senate race? How's that shaping up?
Yeah, of course they have Harris.
Well, right now, CBS has it leaning Ruben Gallego, the Democratic challenger, over Carrie Lake, who is a local television news anchor, well known here. She ran for governor unsuccessfully 2 years ago, but we also expect that margin to tighten up with more votes coming in. But right now,
and the last
CBS
poll
News
to
has
close
that
is
leaning
Alaska
as a Democratic hold.
at 1
Chris,
p.m.
any of your
at 1
sources there
a.m.
saying when we might know result of some of these big races, including the presidential race in Arizona?
It really comes down to how close they are, Lindsay. If it's a very, very close race like it was in 2020, it could be several days. If we're talking about several percentage points difference, we could know that perhaps as soon as tomorrow.
California,
It's
on
unusual
the
that we know
west.
them that quickly anyway.
Vice President Harris.
This has not been about a fight that is against something. This is about a fight that is for
For something.
Former President Trump.
We're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to make America great again.
But no, you're going to make America hate again.
Polls just closed in California. Vice President Harris's home state. CBS News projects that she will win there.
Yeah.
In Idaho, CBS News projects
she's
Trump
gotta win.
will win. And over 5 decades, Idaho has supported a Republican for the presidency.
Yeah.
And here is where we stand right now in the race to 270, shows Donald Trump with 211 electoral votes and Kamala Harris with 145. A number of states.
California
still
hasn't
to
even
be
started
called.
yet.
I'm going to go now to Major Garrett and Anthony Salvanto at the data desk. And so why is Georgia now lean Republican?
We will explain that to Nora and the team here in a moment. Anthony, walk us through how we got to this lean Trump designation for Georgia. It's 16 electoral votes in a state that former President Trump very much wanted to flip.
So you see, there's still some vote outstanding, right? It's 88% in. But what I'm going to do is show you our models here that incorporate
I think it
what
got
we expect
closer
out
now.
of that vote. And
Come
so
on,
when you
Kamala,
do
please
that,
come back.
you see that Donald Trump sure can.
Oh,
Far
is
less
that
relative
close?
vote in there, right? We're at
Less than
60, we're at
100,000.
60%. So the needs yet
Madison
doesn't
is blue.
quite come into play
Thank
as
you,
much.
Dad.
But we are going to be looking at
Thank you,
places
Sharon.
like Milwaukee. And the trouble is,
Oregon.
given what I just showed you in those key
Harris
Democratic
has a big
counties,
lead in
right
Oregon.
now she's
That's
tracking
good.
at getting 44%
Hopefully the
of
burnt
the
ballots
outstanding
doesn't
vote.
ruin
So
this.
again, still a lot of vote to come.
Washington,
Still some uncertainty
nothing
here, but
happened
right
yet.
now not immediately on track.
And because we only have, but these are the trend lines at this
So
hour.
close in Arizona.
All right, thank you.
Perhaps one of the most powerful Democrats.
Oregon,
That's
she's
her phrase.
almost
Based on
50%,
a
and
source
she's
close to
still
her,
ahead.
watching the returns.
But Bob, it's interesting. They say she must win, but do they think she can
Washington,
win? There's
Trump
such a
is
big
ahead.
difference there. You expect people to be optimistic at this point,
Yes,
but it's
not
not.
only she needs to win, but she
Cities
must
and labor.
win.
Cities, labor, and they got to eat into the Republican vote in the
Arizona,
suburbs. They're still
still
optimistic
close.
from Pelosi to others that she can do it, but they see a narrowing path. But it's
I thought it was narrow coming in to the evening. I've said
shouldn't be
that Harris
narrow.
was a low ceiling, high floor candidate coming into this
Harris
race.
should be
I think
winning.
that holds true. I think Jen O'Malley Dillon's memo is correct that it seems like the blue wall is the path. And I will say this: I think
we're gonna
Democrats
build a
are kind
blue-
of coming
we need
to
to build a
grips
blue
with the stubborn
wall.
reality
And we're gonna-
that
we
some
need
of the
to have
bets
Trump
that were
pay
made
for
in
it.
this cycle may just not pay off. That doesn't mean Kamala Harris will lose, but it does mean that some of the bets may be around abortion and some of the bets around Donald Trump may be receding in public regard.
Like if you lose so many of the keys
come to
if the
fruition.
battleground
There is still a
states,
path
you'll
despite
likely
all
have
that.
no
And,
chance.
I remember in 2020, many
Like, we need
Democrats
to
around
have-
this time of night
we need to
felt
win
maybe
the
similar
rest of the
to
states.
looking at the map right now, the same way that they felt 4 years ago, the
What
same way
had
they
our
feel now.
crisis?
And
No.
that race was able to be pulled through. But I think Ed's point is right. I think there
He's
are
not gonna have a
narrow paths to
crisis. He
victory, and I
fucked
think
up
Democrats
COVID.
are bearing down for what could be an extended process here when you get past those blue wall states, looking at Nevada,
And
seeing what
also
happens
the soldiers
with
in
those votes.
Afghanistan.
Ballot curing, I think, will be a really key issue.
I know you've been with us for
Well,
most of
because
this conversation.
of course-
We
of
heard
course they vote
Cecilia's
for
reporting
Trump.
and more about the Hispanic vote. What
But
are
they're
you hearing?
sexist idiots.
I'm hearing that
And they
the
can't
Democrats
stand
are
having a woman on
favoring
the
their
White
support
House.
among Latino voters,
Especially a
and it's
black
across
woman.
the board. It starts into Arizona, where you have a lot of working class, middle class Latino voters. I expect that to tip toward Trump as well because of this growing middle class. They are second, third generation Latino
Seriously, new voters voted
dominated.
for
Ed
Trump,
O'Keefe
really?
talked about
They should be
the
voting
growth
for
of
Harris.
Latino men on the Republican
I was
side,
told that
and
the
they are
young
tilting
group
over
voted for
toward Trump.
Harris.
And because of the economy, because of high inflation components,
Race
and
alert.
I think
What
expect
is it?
that in the suburbs of Philadelphia. My reporting says they are coming out for Trump as well.
Leslie Sanchez, thank you. And we have a race alert at this hour. CBS News rates North Carolina as lean Republican. And so while the vote count is still coming in, our CBS News models indicate this race leans Republican for Donald Trump. Remember, this was the one of the 7 battlegrounds that he won 4 years ago and is performing well in the rural areas of North Carolina. You could argue North Carolina was a must-win for Donald Trump tonight, and we rate it as lean Republican at this hour while it is still early in the night. Let's go now to Major Garrett to explain why.
So lean Trump for North Carolina. How did that happen? Which we should remind ourselves, 5
Oh,
visits
God.
by the former president
Kamala
to
still
North
had an
Carolina in the
organ.
closing week of this campaign, underscoring its importance as the Trump team looked at the electoral map of the country.
Kamala Harris
So here
got
we
the
have
lead back in
86% of the vote
Washington.
in. This is the actual vote as it has been tabulated. Here is our estimate of where this will land
Arizona,
when all the votes
still,
are counted.
well, nothing has
51.6
changed. Okay, so it's pretty much late at night right now. At the first day of the election day, so far it's 230 Trump and 210 Kamala Harris. Or 207, whatever it is. It's somehow close, which shouldn't be. We're still waiting on the key battleground states. We'll likely know tomorrow. Seriously, praying to God that Kamala wins. I mean, I did this back in 2020, and it worked well. Now I gotta do this thing again. O Father, art thou in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's been 4 years since we last talked, but we need you more than ever yet again. The most dangerous man in the world is trying to win and destroy our country. We got hope for somebody that has a chance to defeat him, but so far, he is dominating right now. Sure, the biggest battleground states have yet to be determined, but still, we do not want Trump to win again. We want Kamala Harris to win, because only by bringing Kamala Harris is America safe. If we have Trump win, America is doomed. And we do not want that. So please, God, and in the goodness of your soul, for all that is holy, please help America. Please have Kamala Harris win. And please make sure it's only a few days and not a week this time around. Please have Kamala Harris win. Please. Amen. Okay, I gotta go to sleep now. Hopefully we get good news tomorrow morning. I don't fucking believe it. So the results have been counted today. The good news is that it only lasted a day and not a week, unlike 4 years ago. But Trump has won Wisconsin, Trump has won Michigan, and Trump has won Pennsylvania, also North Carolina and Georgia. With the final score of 295 to 226, Donald Trump, the worst president in history, a convicted felon with 34 counts of felony charges, the guy with controversial decisions and stupid actions, has won the election. He's now the second president since Grover Cleveland to win 2 non-consecutive terms. So Trump is back at the White House. Like, how the hell did Kamala Harris lose? How did this happen? It's like, why? Like, you really do not like the Democrat rule that you have to elect someone that do far worse damage? Of course, this was hours ago, but I wanted to take some time to process everything. It's like I'm very disappointed. Like, I feel many things today. Today I feel woman. Today I feel black. Today I feel Spanish. Today I feel like an immigrant. Today I feel gay. today I feel like a transgender. And if you understand why I mentioned that, you understand that it's the horrible feeling. It's like seriously, seriously, Ohio, you, Trump and Vance made lies about the Haitian community, about the dogs and cats. There is proof that none of this happened. Springfield is now in ruins. Haitians, people's lives are being ruined. Schools and buildings are closed down to prevent violence. There's violence in Springfield, Ohio, due to stupidly racist false information. And yet you voted for the man who destroyed your city. Montana. The majority voted on making abortion legal. You want abortion to be legal. Yet you voted for the man who single-handedly destroyed Roe v. Wade and is going to ban abortion everywhere. Pennsylvania. The biggest issue that you guys voted on is democracy. Democracy is what you want in the future. You voted for an authoritarian dictator who is against democracy. It's just mind-boggling. It's just disgusting how far America and society has fallen. It's look at the stats. It's the majority of men voted for Trump. The majority of people with college degrees voted for Kamala Harris. People without college degrees voted for Trump. Seriously. It just doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense that this has happened. This is a bad example for America. By putting Trump in the office, it's just with him in office, all that work against him was crimes and everything. All that work to try to have him hold himself accountable has been for nothing. Because now he's got to be immune. This time his president's going to erase everything he did. This is stupid. Absolutely stupid. It's by doing that, you pretty much says that anyone can become president. That homeless guy in the middle of the street who has nothing, he's eligible to become president. Because some random overgrown high school student who's still in high school, he's eligible to be president. Oh, what's this? We got a pedophile who did bad things to multiple kids. But he's eligible to become president of the United States. You pretty much said that anyone could become president. Seriously, you could murder people. You could rape people. You can berate people. You can say racist things. You can do racist things. You cause violence. You damage the economy. You commit fraud. You touch kids and all. Every single crime you've committed in the world. But guess what? It's not gonna matter anymore, because no matter what you did, you're eligible to become president. It's like you still have a chance. And as I said, once you become president, it just erases everything that you did. Like, you get to live your life scot-free, as if nothing happened. Like, do you realize how stupid this message has gone? It's like everything was there, showing that Trump did stupid things, and yet you still won. It's like he's officially the real-life version of David from the No David books. Because this shows that no matter what happens, Trump always gets the short hand of the stick. Like, no matter what happens, he wins. Even when he's wrong, he wins. Like, what is going on? How much stupider can we be? Like, this is a new low for America. Like, how can we get lower than this? How can we get lower than this? All of this due to stupidity. Because people do worship Trump like he's God. It's like, with this, it's like, this is gonna be horrible. This is the worst thing to ever happen. It's like, by doing this, now women are gonna be raped, and they're gonna be forced to have children, and they're gonna be denied the Medicare needed to get rid of the kid, or whether because it's by someone else, or because a kid is struggling. Now a deformed child have to spend a long life in constant pain. And like we're gonna have immigrants. All immigrants get deported or slaughtered. It's like we're gonna have criminals do stupid things and get away with it, unless they are women, unless they are not white, or if they're Democrats. Then they're getting punished. Then they're getting the chair. And it's like, we're gonna have Christmas in July. On Christmas. It's like inflation is gonna go down. It's gonna be worse than the crash of 1929. It's like everyone that opposed Trump is now gonna face consequences. Like, if we're gonna continue to sell the Bible like drugs, because people want to go back, because now, like, seriously, now we're gonna go back to the days where men just treat women like garbage and they'll be treated as objects. Now we're gonna have people that are not white live like hell. It's like, abortion's gonna be banned. It's like, it's only a matter of time before the Civil Rights Act gets abolished and it goes back to the states. It's gonna be a matter of time before a woman loses the right to vote, or own a credit card, or get a mortgage, or travel out of states. We're gonna deal with the LGBTQ losing their rights and minorities losing their rights. We're gonna lose our health insurance, our Social Security, Medicaid. It's like the environment is gonna suck. People are gonna lose more jobs and homes, and their beautiful thing is gonna be replaced by Trump, and they're all gonna have his name. It's like we're at a point where we can't say anything, Because we can't say a thing without getting stoned to death. Like, we fear that if we protest for the right thing, we're gonna get executed. And we're gonna be taught the wrong things. It's like everything. It's like, I know you guys are thinking, oh, but it's a second term. Don't worry. Once it's over, he's never gonna be again. That doesn't make it better. And what's gonna stop there? Next thing you know, his Supreme Court is going to abolish the amendment of limited 2 terms, and they're gonna make sure that Trump becomes president, that remains president until he dies. It's like, might as well burn the entire Constitution while you're at it. It's like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid how people just allow this country to go down. It's like the people that... It's like, we're gonna live in hell right now. And the fact that most of these people are carrying on, not giving a shit about these people, just pisses me off. It pisses me off to no end. It's like, it really does. It pisses me off to know that people are going to suffer, and then they have to be alone at this. Like, seriously, for those of you that voted for Trump, I hope you're happy with yourself. You have destroyed America. You're a disgrace to women. You're a disgrace to minorities. You're a disgrace to immigration. You're a disgrace to an entire America. It's like at this point, it's like your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. It's like you're taking up space. It's like, does rooting for helping your Lord and Savior worth killing the lives of millions? Is it worth destroying the lives of millions of people? Seriously, are you really that sexist and racist that you have to put a dictator? It's like we're gonna allow Israel to burn and have Hamas take over. We're gonna lose aid to Ukraine, and Ukraine is going to die. Russia's gonna take over, and Russia's gonna take over the entire world because we allow this to happen. It's like we're gonna be overrun by terrorist organizations. They're gonna take over, and we're not gonna have America left. Like, America's gonna be dead in less than 4 years. It's like, I'm disgusted. And it's like, if you can't handle the truth about it, just unsubscribe. I don't care. I don't fucking care. And if you find me, just go on. Just fight me. Just make it your mission to murder me for having an opinion. It's like, freedom of speech is dead. Everything that we've worked on is dead. And it's gonna get worse. Like, how can I have hope for America after the bullshit that just happened? It's like, its government is a fucking joke. It's like, seriously, their brains don't fucking work. They're idiots. They're honestly idiots. Like, I don't know what's wrong with people. Kamala Harris already called. Despite it being bad, she accepted the results. President Biden accepts the results. Like Kamala Harris said that a fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny, and anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States, which is sadly going to get burned because it's too old. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body and not have their government telling them what to do. But the freedoms is going to disappear. The government's going to control the bodies and lives of women. Because this people letting us know that it's not the women who decides their lives and their bodies. It's everyone else. It's like, we will never give up the fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence. In America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld. But that's never going to happen in this new America. And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in the quieter ways, in how we live our lives by treating one another with kindness and respect. We're just sadly going to die. By looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor. But people always going to see each other as the enemy. By always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, but like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it's never been done before. Like, she accepts the results. She never said it's rigged. She's not going to have her supporters go to the Capitol and murder people because she lost. She accepts the results, disappointingly, of course, and is going to move on to do what she does best. Like, Kamala should have won. The fact that she didn't is dumb. Like, seriously, just fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. The fucker does not deserve to be president again or do anything. He's fucking cancer. Fuck him. God fucking damn it. Like, I'm at a loss for words right now. Like, I don't know how we're gonna survive the next 4 years. Or if there's gonna be anything left. It's like, I'm gonna keep doing what I do and everything for this nation, but I'm ashamed to be an American right now. And I don't blame you if you feel the same way.